Hey, y'all know 8 times 8 equals 64. 8 happens to be the Chinese lucky number. Kobe Bryant's legendary number was 8. I ain't saying 24 was bad, but you know, that's the number. That's the number he rocked for a long time. And a 2x4 is 8 square feet, you know, by its plane. So one could possibly argue that 8 is a foundational number, possibly as much, if not more so, than any other number. So I think that it is perfectly acceptable. I didn't plan for this to happen, but you know, when I was coming up with these topics a few months back for the series, that it just happened to roll because let me just get to it. This is the top 5 reasons why not to hate guns, and let me just get on with it. You know, it's a dual purpose, two purposes for this video. One is the doggone go counter to the nonsense that's happening up in DC and across this nation. Okay, and two, you know, this whole fear and anti-gun nonsense that's being said, even though they saying it's not anti-gun. Come on, guns and kill and all this other the extremist points of view that's going on. And the second reason is the doggone bring some logical and reasonable sense to this so-called gun debate, which really isn't a debate. It's more people not understanding, as usual, a bunch of ignorance on America's part. Okay, you know, let me just deal with it. Number 5, security. Now, one may say, oh, I've heard the arguments all about, oh, guns, people feel threatened around guns, blah blah blah. Let me tell you something. I use one example of a professional with a gun, a police officer. Now, there's a difference between a police officer and a security guard. Police officer carries a gun. He goes into the line of duty. She goes into the line of duty. You feel safer around a police officer than you would a security guard. Part of that is because that gun is visible. Okay? Security. When you are in the confines of your home and a burglar breaks in, he or she has a weapon, namely usually guys or a group that have weapons. Now, a bat may do justice or whatever may do justice, but nothing is as effective as a gun if you know how to use it and you have a clear mind. All it takes is one shot. I don't care how great a fighter. It may take multiple shots, but it could only just take one. Or one will send a message. One to the leg, one to the chest, one to the head, one to whatever. A gun protects. That is the number one purpose for a gun, is to protect. Security. Number 4, the 4th reason, it is respect. Now, if you know somebody's carrying a gun, you're just going to be polite. People are just going to be politer. You know, it again goes with the I use the cop again. Part of the reason why you respect officers is because they have a weapon on them. It may not be a gun, it may be mace, it may be a club or whatever, but it's usually a gun. You see that gun, you're not going to act all stupid unless you are just totally out your mind. You have no sense of sanity within you. You have no sense of self-protection. You know, if you know somebody carries a gun, you're going to act smarter. It changes the way you react. It just does. Because you know that this person has power. You know, I'm not trying to be egotistic, but you know, it evens the playing field on so many things. That leads into my 3rd point. It evens the playing field. Guns, you know, criminals, look at you, let's be honest. If you're a law-abiding citizen, as far as indifferent from criminals, I ain't trying to characterize anybody. This is just the way it is. Criminals, my bad for bad spit. Criminals don't care. Some of them these days, a lot of them these days, they don't care anymore. I see dudes jacking folk without masks, without anything, in broad daylight. Folks are getting reckless and ruthless these days, and cruel, even more than they used to be. You think some fools ain't afraid to pop off, okay? Like I say, you may not be the, and I'm not trying to promote violence here, but what I'm saying is, he could be the greatest martial artist in the world, but if you have some distance, you fire that bomber. Yeah. See how much he gonna do, or you pull that out. Okay, and I'm not just talking about pulling out and waving. You know, you look like you may do something. It's gonna make dudes think twice. It's gonna make them not act all stupid again. Back to the protection issue. You know, going into the second point. Survivability. It goes to security, but survivability. Now, guns are good for hunting. We all know this. But also, you know, guns are good for hunting. I mean, I don't want to get to my top point, but guns are good for hunting. Guns are good, like I say, to protect yourself. Guns are good. All these are relatively the same point, but they need to be broken down because too often we just jump, you know, stick everything together. Sometimes on the, you know, some of these streets are rough out here. Dude carries a strap. Hey, I tell anybody, you know, sometimes I wish, this just me, sometimes I wish some of these teachers in these different schools had guns, you know, to protect. You know, the only thing that's going to stop a gun is another gun. It's been said, and it's pretty much the truth. You know, in war, if some kind of war, I don't care if it's national or anything. Shoot, if he's bringing a doggone M16, he's bringing an AK-74, not the 47, the 74. He's bringing pistol, whatever. With the old saying, don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You know, you're just surviving out here. You know, I wish things were different, but it is what it is right now. Now, things may change as time goes on, and we begin to use this up here. This is why I'm bringing up, use logically. But, as things are, you know, in different places where it's dangerous, okay, you got to survive out here. Human life, okay? Some folk ready to kill. Some folk are ready to kill. So you had the right to defend yourself, and that's what it really comes down to. You don't have the right to violate and all pop off, but you have the right to defend yourself. And in the number one point, really, and this gets to this whole thing about assault weapons bans, and I'm just going to disclaimer. There's plenty of red tape you got to go through to get stuff. You can't just get stuff. Okay, you can't just get a gun. You have to. You can't be felon. You can't be a felon. You can't. There's a whole bunch of rules I don't even know, but there's a lot of rules in place. You know, trying to put more laws, more rules on law-abiding citizens, letting criminals, people who gonna get stuff off the black market from different countries and stuff, letting them have an even greater foothold. It's not cool. These assault, let me break it down about just assault rifles and assault weapons. This all goes into my point. Okay, you can't really fire them at close range. They're good from a distance. If you want a close range, close quarters, you get a pistol, a 9, a Glock, whatever you want to, you know, a revolver or whatever. An assault rifle at close range, you might as well just use it manually, hit somebody upside the head. It's good from a distance, and it's got heavy spit. But some of these weapons, these fully autos and semi-autos, aren't that accurate as well. You know, whether it be small with the Uzi, it depends, and it also depends on the users. Most people, you know, aren't that good of a user. But really, my point is, it goes in that like I said, there's the disclaimer, but it kind of backs up with it has to be talked about. And really, my point here is why it's so stupid to try to ban it. Look here, it's just governmental control, okay? The main reason why the forefathers, you know, the founding fathers, they put it, the right to bear arms, the Second Amendment, is because if you look at it, it's for a militia, it's for protection of not only the nation, but the right of the people to protect themselves. See, here's the from a tyrannical government. The right of the people to protect themselves from a tyrannical government. Oh, people say, oh, well, they didn't have assault rifles and different things and machine guns back in the day. Who cares? They had muskets. Look, say, just hypothetically, but it happens across the globe. It happens throughout human history. Who say it can't happen to good of you all? US of A, the United States, the states. You know? That whether a general or a couple generals, they get together and they get loyal men and they try to, establish a dictatorship or just conquer their own lands. They come back, military folks. To say police officers in the military are the only ones who should be having these weapons, how can you say that? Or suppose another nation invades this one, and I'm talking about military, and all we got is hunting rifles and handguns. Oh yeah, that's gonna work real great against M16 full. Oh man, have the right to, and it goes back to the right to protect yourself from the government and any other things. Okay, you have the right to protect yourself. The right to protect yourself. Number one reason for guns is the right to protect yourself. Not the top reason it gets to it. Against tyranny. Against tyranny, y'all. And if you don't know what tyranny is, you're really, first of all, you're probably too young to really care all this much about this video. And you probably need to educate yourself about life if you don't know what tyranny is and you live in the modern era. You need to learn what the word tyranny means. It's Tyranny. I believe so. Look it up. Google it. Bing it. Ask.com don't really matter. And I'm stretching this out because this is the most important part. Tyranny. Because don't put it past any government, especially one like the United States. And I know this is going on, but it has to be said. One like the good US of A, that will do what it has done, these international crimes, these just despicable acts. It was readily seen from Vietnam, and it's been continuing on. Don't think they won't do it at home now. Just for some egomaniacs, for power-hungry men to gain more power and control. They want to make slaves again. And you think I'm crazy? Really? Look what's going on. Look at the rule. Look at the laws being passed. Look at the setting up for a dictatorship and then an empire possibly, or a collapse. Look what's going on in the world around you, and think critically. That's the end of what I say. Have a good day, night, y'all. Peace.